Well, it's that time of year again. Tax season is nearly upon us. It's a good time to certainly start to think about that. We've got a few months, but nonetheless, a lot of people like to get in early. And you know what? It's a complex and sometimes stressful moment, especially the more complex your tax situation may be, which is exactly why the AARP in Newport, initiated by lead organizer Bob Lobecker, is offering a free taxation preparation program in Newport County. And that's a story that's available in Newport this week and a discussion that we're going to have with Bob right now. Bob, good morning, and thanks so much for making the time.
Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
What's the initiation behind this? Obviously, on the surface, it seems like a great opportunity. What drove you to kind of dig in on this a little bit?
To get into the tax program,
Yes.
I've always done my own taxes, and I worked a couple years for a paid tax preparer and decided that it would be more fun to do it for free for people that needed to have it done. And you said earlier, it's sort of an onerous thing, death and taxes, they're kind of something we can't get away from. And it's not a happy time for people. And I thought I could help them out. So I had sort of a calling to get into just doing it to help people around Newport.
The AARP tax aid program, as it's known, it's really, in fact, I believe it is the nation's largest free tax preparation service. All the tax preparers are certified by the IRS, and they're qualified to handle pretty much all common IRS and state schedules and forms. So this takes the process. It allows folks to just have a little bit more confidence when they file as well. And um, I think that's something that when it comes to a lot of the websites that people use these days, sometimes you're not 100% sure you're getting one, you're filing in a legal manner, and two, you're getting the most bang for your buck in terms of a possible refund. And I wonder what's your message to someone out there who might say, hey, this sounds good for me. I've always had somebody prepare my taxes that I've paid, an accountant. What do you think what's the draw for somebody who might be interested in or unsure about working with you?
Well, there's certainly many software programs around. TurboTax is one. There are many other ones. So people can be fairly confident that they're doing the job themselves. And most of those programs actually work. They talk your way through it. They're question and answer. They ask you something, you answer, and it goes back and forth. So when you get done, you're pretty sure it's correct. That does mean that you are computer literate and you know your way around software programs very well. And a lot of our clients are old. 2/3 of our clients are older. Not to say that older people aren't computer literate, but many of them have a little bit of trouble with that. And when your returns get complicated, and they can easily get complicated, you do need to have some advice. And rather than go to a CPA or a paid tax preparer, you said earlier, we are IRS certified. Our training is pretty rigorous. We have a fall training class that's about 6 weeks long. We all have to take the same test that paid preparers take. It's a IRS test. So we're pretty confident that for most tax returns, we can help people out getting through this, unhappy time of their life.
Definitely. So this program is available. It's in person. It's going to be at 9 different sites throughout Newport County, beginning in February, and it's for low and moderate income folks of all ages. This is something that's available for anybody that has to file taxes. What is the beginning in February? When specifically and where specifically are you going to be able to? Would someone be able to find you?
Well, it's in today's Newport This Week. There's a complete schedule for the entire county. We have 9 sites from the Jamestown Senior Center to the Tiverton Library. And in between, we have the Edward King House here in Newport. We have the Martin Luther King Community Center in Newport. We have a day at the Newport Library. We have a site at the Middletown Senior Center, the Middletown Library, and the Portsmouth Senior Center. And the new site this year is at the Park Home Senior Center. That's a new site this year. We've had a few clients over the years come in from the North End community, but it's been, underserved. I've looked at the numbers and said, hey, there's more people out there that could use free tax returns. So we started a site out there. I work closely with Pauline Moyer, who helped us set up the site. She's been wonderful getting us into the room and making sure that it gets a lot of publicity out there. And the ninth site that we have, if you were counting, was at the Salve Regina Library. We have I guess you'd call it an agreement or something with the finance and accounting tax instructor. His name is Paul McKillop, who, if you know the Salve Library, it's the McKillop Library. They are cousins, by the way.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So he has integrated our tax training into his class. It's part of your grade. You have to take some of our training and pass our tests, and then at the end of it's the end of his first fall semester, the beginning of the spring semester. He picks about 10 who would like to work with us out in the community, and they have a site at Solvay. It's on Wednesday afternoons, but he also provides help to us out here. One of the sites here, Newport Library, we staff it with Solvay students, and one of our senior preparers is there as well. And so they've been invaluable we've been doing it for maybe 8 or 9 years now. And the kids are wonderful. They lack a little bit of experience, but that's what they're in it for. And you only have to tell them once. Once you tell them something, they remember it. The rest of us old folks, you got to remind us every year over and over again. But the young folks, they're good. And I really like working with the students because they keep me on my game. On April 15th, all of us sort of retire because we don't have to worry about it for a year. But if you're working with the kids, you need to keep your game up for the rest of the year. So that's the sites. We're beginning to open. The first site will open in Tiverton on the 1st of February. And each of these sites, the other 9 sites will open at the after that, with the last site opening in Jamestown on the 15th of February.
And I do highly recommend everyone who's interested in this, check out newportthisweek.com. You'll see the article and you'll see the list of sites as well as the start dates, the times that the sites will be servicing, will be available to service folks, as well as different parameters for contact and for walk-in versus appointments, things of this. So they do vary, it seems, from site to site. So again, newportthisweek.com, you'll be able to get a complete rundown of all 9 sites and all the information around them. Well, there's a public service element to this for sure that you've gotten involved in, and I'm sure you've really helped a lot of people over time here. Bob, what keeps you motivated to do this?
It's the gratitude. You'd think for such an onerous thing that you'd have a lot of people unhappy with you, but we save them money, and I feel we do a good job because at the end of the year, I get so very few complaints, and I sort of use that as a judgment that we must be doing a good job if we don't get a lot of complaints, because there certainly is enough to complain about when you're doing your taxes. So my reward is the gratitude from people as they go out the door. They're very grateful. We saved them money. We may have done something for them that they didn't know about before because tax code is a very complex. It's a 6-foot tall stack of books, and we don't memorize it, but we certainly know where to look. And I've probably touched 10,000 returns. I haven't prepared 10,000 returns, but been involved in 10,000 over the years.
Wow.
I've seen a lot. I can say, okay, what do you qualify for this? What do you think about that? And I can get them, and we'll get people very large refunds that they wouldn't have got before. We file them quickly. We do all our returns are electronic files. So if you're going to get a refund, you get it within a couple of weeks. I see a lot of people around town. They recognize me. Sometimes I don't recognize them because I've seen too many over the years, but it's just a good feeling.
Well, you're doing amazing work, and it's deeply appreciated in the community. Bob Lobecker, AARP's tax aid program in Newport County. There's 9 sites, again, newportthisweek.com. You'll find the story, and within the story, you'll find the roster and schedule and all the information that you might need. Bob, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Thanks for taking the time to have me. I hope people found this useful, and I've left a good impression about the program.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
you have. I'm sure you have. Thank you.